Welcome. We're working on a hip hop tune here, and the goal is we want to make sure that the bass drum is kicking and the bass guitar is in your face, very fat and punchy. So let's take a listen to what we got here. Okay, now we got some decent tracks to work with. We haven't done much with them yet, but what we're going to do is thicken up that bass guitar initially in the intro to make it sound very old school kind of analog. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use a couple of different tools. Both tools are designed to actually give kind of a vintage, older style recording quality. First thing we're going to do is use the PSP Retro Q. Now this is, like it says, it's a retro equalizer. We're going to do quite a lot of boosting here in the bottom end. Let's take a listen. Now that's just on that bass in the intro. It sounds good. Now, often you can't just start boosting that much frequency in the bottom end, but we're going to go through something that's going to make it work for us, and that's the extreme punch right here. And this is tape saturation. It's an emulation of tape saturation. So it's going to actually take the density of the signal we're creating with the EQ and make it really saturate, adding a lot of harmonic content. Now let's take a listen to the two together. Much, much better. Now let's drive that a little bit harder. Now this is the Extreme Punch version 6, which is the best one that they've made so far. And what makes this work is the fact that we're running this EQ first. And this is very similar to a technique they used back in the days of analog, where they would actually push a vintage EQ into the tape to saturate the tape. And what happens is the end result is very dense and thick, punchy bass guitar. Now here's without it. We'll hear that first. And then we'll hear the difference of what we just put on there. Big improvement. We're talking about very, very dense and analog, punchy. Hear it again. Initially turned off. On. The tape saturation is very, very punchy. Okay, continuing on, we're going to do the same thing now for the bass guitar in the verse. We've just finished the intro. Let's try it again, this time on the verse. Let's take a listen to the part first, without it. Okay, it's funky, but it needs to really hit you in the chest. You need to be able to feel that. So, once again, we're going to use the PSP Retro Q to feed this signal and reshape it into the Extreme Punch 6. And the 6 is superior to the previous versions. Now, most compressors, if you were running this into a compressor or something, you really would want to boost this much Q. But the Extreme Punch is a different animal altogether, and it's designed to emulate tape saturation, which it does very accurately. So let's hear it first without it, and then we'll tweak. Nice, nice. Yeah. See the difference. That's without it. Yeah, it's with it. Without. With. Very, very analog. Very warm and punchy. Now let's hear everything we've done on the bass, on the intro, run it straight through to the verse. Very nice. I'm going to even push that harder on the verse part there. It sounds much thicker. I want to make it even more in your face. Nice. That's without it. The result is a much denser, fatter, and harmonic signal. Very, very comparable to analog tape. And there it is. We've got the Extreme Punch 6 and the PSP Retro Q.